Thank you, Phyllis. I may look as if my presentation is out of line with what was preceding, but actually I see that the next presentation is for leveraging, how to leverage FERN to contribute to transformation of Africa's food systems. And in fact, what I'm going to present ends with the application of the food environment methodology and tools for implementation for transforming food systems in Egypt, for which I would be asking for the support of the Africa Network from Amos Lar. So if you would excuse me, I'll put off my video because the internet is not that strong. Thank you. Now, I'm going to give you highlights of Egypt's post-UN Food Systems Summit plan. Now, transforming food systems in Egypt was initiated ahead of the summit, and access to the population to healthy and nutritious diets and strengthening of food production, supply systems, and improving the efficiency of food chains is a priority and a developmental goal to address the challenges of the extremely high and strong demographic pressure. We doubled our population in half a century, and the limited natural resources of land and water. As you know, Egypt is practically all desert with only the valley of the Nile as the inhabited area. And this is complicated by the impact of climate change. It is important for Egypt, which is a food deficit country relying in great measure on food imports, to improve the food resources to feed its population. The Food Systems Summit was an occasion to bring together all the concerned stakeholders to debate and agree on what needs to be done to address the 5 action tracks. Now, this is terribly important because I think in most countries, as in Egypt, the concerned stakeholders in food supply chains and food systems do not always talk to each other. So the planned actions and activities that were agreed during the discussion sessions of the National Summit Dialogue covered important areas under each of the tracks. I will only mention some of these actions. They reinforce existing actions and measures already implemented or being implemented that improve productivity along the food system and food value chain. An important decision that followed the national dialogue was for the establishment of intergovernmental coordination mechanisms for food systems and to institutionalize those mechanisms on the national and local levels, not only at the central level. Salient components of or highlights of the plan include improving access to innovations and technologies of smallholder farmers, both men and women, and small-scale operators, or SMEs. Promoting investment in clean and renewable energy that are affordable for small-scale food systems actors, the adoption of measures to address fragmentation of farm holdings, which is a chronic malady or a chronic feature in Egypt, improving and reforming incentive systems, reinforcing monitoring and control of existing norms and standards for food production and food safety, increasing the efficiency of the use of all types of available water resources, transferring the silt of the Nile. This was a very important decision and rather timely and much delayed, to transfer the silt of the Nile that is deposited behind the high dam to the desert lands in order to contribute to what we call the bonification or the reclamation of desert lands for agriculture. There was also attention to increasing the efficiency of the social programs that is undertaken by the government to support access of the poor to healthy, nutritious diets. Incentivizing solutions for sustainable agriculture to allow the transition to sustainable agriculture and adoption of regenerative agricultural practices and innovations for resilience and climate change mitigation. This is really can be called an outcome of the summit because not much attention was given to soil health and soil regeneration. On the subject of ensuring access to safe and nutritious food for all, it is planned to increase food production locally through accelerated productivity growth and increased efficiency of resource use. Also to expand coverage of social protection systems and make them more nutrition sensitive. In addition to establishing a catalytic SME or smallholder financing facility to transform food systems. To scale up sustainable cold chain technology and reduce food losses and waste. To support and encourage more diverse and resilient food distribution systems, including shorter supply chains and territorial markets. For this, a very big effort was done to improve the logistics of transport of food and access to all markets across the whole country of food, which was not always done. We also gave attention to develop and enforce food safety measures for informal food systems at local and national levels. In Africa, much of food production is informal, and unfortunately it escapes the food safety control infrastructure that cannot access or control them. Then we also had to strengthen and enforce Egypt's food safety control system. And Egypt is a part of a 12-country support program for the African Union to strengthen food control systems. I think we are the only North African country, and the others are sub-Saharan countries. We gave attention in the plan to managing food safety risks more effectively through enhanced regional and international cooperation. But the biggest challenge for Egypt is for shifting to healthy and sustainable consumption patterns. I have heard such valuable insights into what other African or sub-Saharan African countries are doing. And we are really interested to adopting some of these tools in Egypt because we don't have much studies in this direction. And we do need more effort for ensuring healthy food environments to deliver safe, sustainable, healthy, and affordable diets. Also to reduce food waste in the home, in the retail system, and out-of-home food service sector. Food packaging and labeling is currently receiving attention in conformity with international practices, but we are not at an advanced stage of what South Africa has shown us in this meeting. For the first time, fiscal policies in support of healthy and sustainable diets are under study and consideration. The Parliament, with great difficulty, supported reduction of salt, legislation for reduction of salt in Egyptian foods. But much more has to be done for sugar and fats. Strengthening nutrition leadership and governance arrangements is recognized by Egypt as a priority. The most significant summit outcome for Egypt is the proposed high-level nutrition governance and coordination body for food and nutrition that is currently under consideration for approval. It will serve as a policy formulation body and can enhance timely food system decision-making. Now, an example that in which I am involved as a member of the National Nutrition Sciences Committee of the Academy of Scientific Research and Technology, together with FAO and the National Food and Nutrition Security Information Center, is practical application of the summit outcomes in a selection of a number of villages. I think they go from 3 to 5. The decision has not yet been made. This is within the framework of the government mobilization of the UN food system and, the UN system and development partners to support the implementation in Egypt of the summit outcomes. Now, the villages are to serve as a, not pilot, but a model for replication and scaling up. What is more important, when I said in the beginning that Egypt has already initiated activities, within the activities of increased food production, attention is now to what we call rural revival, or the new rural Egypt. Across the ages, all over the past years, attention was more to the urban areas, to cities, and there was great neglect of development attention and services to rural Egypt. So it is within this framework that we are applying the Food Summit outcomes and Food Summit plan in Egypt. The greatest effort is made for raising the standard of life of rural populations, a national mega project for infrastructure services, within which social and economic services are also provided. So the project will benefit from what we call integrated agricultural services, health services, educational services, and all the rest. Now we look for support from the Food Environment Network. It's what we want to do in the model villages. And it was agreed that we shall start by analysis of the typology of the food system and analysis of the food environment, which will guide the planning in the villages. And I look forward to support from our African sister countries that are far ahead from Egypt in this domain. Thank you.